Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with a snack habit. Bye. Bye. It's getting hers, right? Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. You guys already know what it is. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun is kicking. And I appreciate the support. I'm very humbled by it. So the riot that happened in New Folsom, right? Come to think of it and come to find out, it was the Gbgz, right? Gbgz. Shout out to Gbgz, right? It was the Gbgz. The Gbgz, which is actually the first homosexual gang in California history and the only long-standing gay gang in California. Now, there's no hatred. If you choose to do what you want to do, if that's the route you want to take, right, that's on you. But to see these guys actually loke up, buckle their seatbelts and go crazy and ride on out to that yard was amazing. Now, when this riot first happened in New Folsom last week, you know, a lot of people were saying, oh, it had to be on a GP yard. Yo, it had to be on the EOP yard. It had to be on the SNY yard. Look, the fact is that for whatever reason, the Gbgz decided to band up and take on another Mexican gang on the PC side, right? On the SNY side. And for those that don't know, man, that think the Gbgz can just get walked all over or rolled on, man, they're sadly mistaken. A man is a man. Just because he diddies it and he's Meek Millish doesn't mean he's not a man. It just means he's a man with the W-O in front of it, right? He likes different types of, you know, he's into, he likes eating elote, right? If he likes elote, he likes elote. I like isquite. I like mine in a cup. I don't like it on the cob. But if that guy likes corn on the cob, who are you to tell him and deny him of it? You ain't got to fuck with it, but that's on you, right? The Gbgz are not no punks. They've been around now for a few decades. And they were actually a group of guys that were established on the SNY yards for self-preservation and protection. You see, the homosexual population in prison on the general population yard is non-existent. Okay, on the GP yard, you're not to indulge in those type of frivolous activities if you are found out. And now this all depends on certain groups. Okay, if it is found out that you're indulging, if you're a Wood, if you're a Southsider or a Northerner, and a brother to some points too, and I say that loosely, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. If you indulge in those type of activities, you're gonna get ran off the yard immediately. You're gonna get removed, taken off the yard. That's not condoned. Okay, I know back in the 60s, 70s, you know, they were running around with punks in the prison yard and doing what they were doing. But times changed, things changed, people's mentality changed. People got woke up quick, right? And they decided that if for whatever reason, and it's not like a spoken rule, you just don't indulge in that type of shit on the yard. It's unsavory. It's unconstitutional, right? You're just not going to get away with it. Now, when it comes to the brothers, a lot of people give them a bad name and say, oh, man, they're the ones that are indulging in this. They're the ones that are indulging in that. Just like any other group, they have politics, right? And they themselves conduct themselves a certain way. And no, they are not allowed to intermingle with them type of people as well. But here's the kicker. You're not going to find those type of people on the GP yard. You're not going to find homosexuals on the GP yard for the reason, like I said, they're not allowed to function. And CDC will not even put them on general population yards for the fact that they will be bullied. They will be, you know, ran upon and hurt. And unfortunately, man, I know it's messed up to say, you know, because I see people for people, man. I don't care what they're into or what they do. That's their own business. Everyone's entitled to live the life the way they want to. Doesn't mean I condone it. Doesn't mean I congratulate them. Doesn't mean I hate on them. It's just not me, right? I wasn't raised that way, and I wasn't born that way. I wasn't born into that lifestyle. Now, the Gbgz are individuals that were placed on SNY yards for whatever reason. Not all of them guys came into the system on some Aitujus. Some of those guys were actually hardcore gang members, part of different groups, part of different gangs in prison that decided for one reason or another, whether it was the time, the place, the atmosphere, the geographical layout, whatever, they liked baby oil, right? So they decided, instead of using baby oil for tattoos, they used it for various other activities, and they went sideways, right? What is considered sideways in prison, and nowadays on the streets, it's considered whatever it is, right? So they ended up becoming what you would consider gay in prison, gay for the stay or for however long they're there. And like I said, a lot of these guys were hardcore gang members, and they were really about it. They put in a lot of work. Some of these guys were known killers. They were in on murders, doing life. And so what happened was all these individuals being placed in the same prisons, banded together for self-preservation and to protect themselves. So along come a few rascals, a few guys that want to be labeled gang members. I guess couldn't let the lifestyle go. Still wanted to be, gangster. And they came up with this thing called Gbgz, which is also gay boy gangsters, right? And these guys were getting it tatted all over them, handling their business. The initiation, wow, right? I don't know exactly what it is, but one could only wonder about getting beat in, what getting beat in really means, right? But they get jumped in or whatever, and they basically mind their own. Now, you got to understand, on the SNY yards, those EOP yards, you do have a lot of different dropout gangs, right? Guys that claim not to function around certain people, but everyone is mixed up on those yards, so you don't really know who you're fooling with. So the Gbgz actually have a seat at the table. They're actually considered I don't know if they're considered a security threat group, but they're a threat on them yards because, like I said, a lot of them dudes were ex-gang members. They were really about the business, and they're not just going to be called a punk. You're not going to just walk up to these guys and punk them and get off on them, especially as deep as they are in those yards. So for whatever reason, the shit that went down in New Folsom was a beef between a couple Gbgz members and a couple guys that were from a dropout gang, and it escalated. It escalated into a full-blown 40-man riot. 5 people were put in the hospital. So it really got serious. This just goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover. Just because he has pallets and pallets of baby oil in his house doesn't mean he won't stomp on you, Cassie, right? Oh, we're talking about someone else. Anyways, the truth of the matter is the Gbgz have gained a reputation, especially on the SNY side of the California Department of Corrections, right? They are not a group that's not going to toil in the soil, literally. They are a group that's going to hold it together for their own. And, imagine this. Imagine being an active gang member or any gang member, even from a dropout gang or whatever, and you go on the yard and you get beat up by a Gbgz member, or you get ran up on or in by a Gbgz member. That's going to be pretty upsetting. It's going to do 2 things. It's going to rupture spleen, and it's going to hurt your feelings, or hurt your spleen and rupture your feelings, right? Whatever it is, it's a fucked up situation, and people think because these guys are gay, they're different, or they're going to act a certain way. But they are convicts. They are criminals. They're locked up with everyone else, and the expectation is that they're going to handle their business if they have to, especially if there's several of them on the yard. What do you expect them to do? Now, I've been around people that were off the ITU juice in prison in different states. I remember being in Tracy prison reception. We got to the theater, man, or I'm on the tier. I'm in H wing at the time. And there's a homie's my cellie. Right when I get there, he's in position, right? Meaning he's got status. And he was the tier security, which in the Norteño movement, he's somebody, right? And so I get cleared, whatever. I'm coming off the streets on a violation. I'm like, what's up, homie? And he was like, damn, bro, I'm dealing with some shit right now. So what happened? He said, we got a fucking homeboy that we think is kind of, and I said, oh, hell no, we don't get down like that. He said, I know, we're going to remove him. I said, hell yeah, right? I volunteer on that one. He's like, no, don't even trip, it's in motion already. And sure enough, these 2 homies went to go remove this big old Chirux, right? And he smashed both the homeboys on the tier. They were on their way to showers. Why'd they have to pick shower time? One never knows, does one, right? But they decided to get off and do their thing, and dick swinging. He beat them both up, right? I remember that was a humiliating thing that happened, but even more humiliating for them. Anyways, eventually, they moved that guy off the tier once he did that, and they moved them off the tier, and that was that. So he ended up getting removed. Hey, the deal was done, but the deal wasn't done the way we wanted it to be done. You know, you hear all these horror stories about prison, California Department of Corrections, way back in the days, and how dudes were getting, you know, snatched up and thrown in cells and bad things happening to them. And it'll really blow your mind the way it was back in them days. See, I went into prison in a gangbanging era when a lot of things were changing, when a lot of the old idealisms of the past were left in the past, and the future was more on our gangster shit. So, you know, gangsters don't go hand in hand with that other stuff unless they're on crank, and then it's a different story. I'm just saying, motherfuckers are wild. The Gbgz are an established group, and I was very shocked and surprised when I see they had a full-blown riot, but I was just kind of like, yeah, well, that gonna learn you guys today. You guys just can't be punking any old person or getting on someone because of their sexual orientation. It just doesn't work that way in life in general, right? And especially the California prison system. Look at gangsters come from all walk of life, every creed, every religion, every color, every pigmentation, everything. And just because guys, you know, like to guzzle fucking KY jelly and baby oil doesn't mean they won't beat you up or they won't put something in you, literally, right? And it's just the way it is. You know, there's a lot of people that think, oh man, you know, this dude ain't gangster if he's that. But really, the fact of the matter is, you don't know what a man is. Let me explain the situation to you. I got a homeboy from my neighborhood. He has about 6 brothers, right? He's a very, very well-known homie. I could talk about any one of the brothers. They're all well-known, but he's my closest homie of the crew, right? And they had a brother who was from my neighborhood, okay? And when we were younger, I remember I went to YA. He was running around like, you know what I mean? He was from the hood, whatever. And I get out, okay? We have a place in Merced called 16th Street. And there's all these old motels on it. It's not really long. I mean, it's a long street, but it's not really, you know, like you think, like a big area. But they got the 16th Street motels. That's where you got all the prostitutas and the pimps and the players and whatever hang out there. All the dope fiends, right? Tecatos. But you also have, that's the strip. You have them, you know, chicks out there walking the strip, the blade, doing whatever they're doing. And I remember I'm cruising by one day, man, me and one of my homeboys were on our way to the Family Bargain Center to get some pants for $12. And as we're cruising, I see someone that looks familiar, but it's a chick. And the homeboy's like, damn, who's that chick right there? And I look, and lo and behold, God is my witness. I said, that's the homie, right? I hit the brakes quickness, and I'm like, hey, bro, my name is Chela. I was like, what the fuck, right? What are you doing? Get in here. I mean, don't get in here. I mean, get out of here, right? I was fucking upset, shocked, baffled is the word, man. I was very baffled, right? So come to find out, he just went that way, man. All the homeboys still respected him in the hood. He wasn't gangbanging in the hood anymore. He liked balls, right? But anyways, we were like, damn, I mean, homeboys used to give the brothers a hard time, right? But hey, one of the homeboys one time, we're at a party. And we're at the homeboys party. His brother's the one that is now his sister, right? And we're all partying over there, kicking back, right? And he comes through with like a couple paisa dudes. And I was like, damn, paisa are nasty right there. You know what I mean? Vivo de tres animales. Fucking animal, right? So they come in and everyone's partying. And the homeboy's like, hey, what's up? What's up? Because we're all used to this dude or this whatever, the dudette by now, right? And we're giving the homeboy a hard time. Well, one of the younger homies, he was like, hey, man, why you guys condone that shit? Why you let that fool come around here? We're at his pad. We're at the home. That's his brother's pad. So that's his pad, right? So it's like, hey, you ain't going to tell him nothing. The homie says, shit, bro, I'll take the fade. I ain't no punk. Well, what I failed to tell you guys in the story so far is that he's a Golden Glove boxer, or was at one point, right? Or silver glove or whatever, bronze glove. Now he's wearing a rainbow glove. He got some type of glove on, right? The Michael Jackson glove. The R. Kelly, he believes he can fly glove. All I know is the young homie felt every piece of that glove. That motherfucker put hands on him in high heels. Clack, 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 clack. Sounded like a Mitchie Slit song. He was back there fucking him up. We were laughing, rolling. We were rolling. That shit was funny. Hey, you just got knocked the fuck out by the homegirl Chela. That's just how that went down. The moral of the story is you can't judge a book by its cover. So I'm not surprised that these Gbgz can make improvised weapons and get off on a yard. A full-blown riot, though, I'm pretty sure that this is the first riot of that scale of individuals, 40 people getting off, that involved the Gbgz actually taking flight. And that's what happened. You know, I talked to a homeboy that's in New Folsom, and I was like, nah, bro, this can't be this. They hit you guys with the squirt zero or what? He was like, nah, bro. He said, look, hey, them fools got off, fool. Like what? It just be like that. And then I think I have that prison mentality. So I think back like, there's a saying, anybody can get it. Well, anybody can do it too. You never sleep on anyone. You never miscalculate or misjudge someone based on their appearance or what you think about them, because you're going to find out real quick what it really is. Do I sit here and condone these gangs or these gaggles or groups getting together to bully people on the yards? I don't. But obviously, man, these GBGs are of an understanding that they are better off sticking together. If you're being persecuted, if you're being looked at, if you're being judged for whatever reason, and there's other people of like-mindedness that are into the same type of Johnson & Johnson, then whatever. Then they will stick together and they'll handle their business. For the dudes that are running around all stunted out, they're getting that shit all tatted on them and everything and crazy, those are dudes that just, they got something wrong with them, because they're going to get out and their kids or their wife or whoever is going to ask them, like, what is that stuff? Why would you get that on you? Who would think that Gay Boy and Gangsters went together? But it is actually a true gang that is, a prison gang. When I say prison gang, I say that loosely. They are on the dropout yards. They are not in general population whatsoever. And the reason being, just like I said in the beginning of the spiel, man, that type of activity is not condoned on the general population yard. On an SMY yard, a 50-50 yard, these integrated yards, of course, you're going to have different individuals of different caliber from everywhere. And so whatever happens stays where it happens, allegedly, until they get off. So, I've been around a lot of different characters in prison, man, and in the youth authority. And never in my life, I remember when I first heard about these guys, like, hey, man, there's a gang. Like, I said, no way, bro, because you don't want to believe that stuff. It's not that it's unbelievable, but it's disbelievable. Like, I can't disbelieve that, if that's even a word, right? I'm just making up words as we go. And I'm like, nah, I don't believe that. And then I seen this dude with it tatted on him all big walking, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, that motherfucker looks like he'll knock your motherfucking your heels off. Well, he'll knock Wes Watson's hillies off, right? I was like, damn. So there are definitely individuals, man, that are not to be played with from every walk of life. But, the word on the curb is it was the Gbgz who laid the yard down. And it's crazy because they're literally out there laying yards down now. They're laying it down. You guys better watch out. For all you guys that are aspiring to be super gangsters and go to prison, you're going to fuck around and end up on the other side and end up in the other side. You better ask somebody, because I know this, man, that young homeboy, he's not young anymore. He's an older homeboy, married with kids, that got beat up by the homeboy's sister brother, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, to this day, I'm not active. He's active, and I still give him shit. Hey, remember that one time, fool? He's like, what happened? I don't act like you don't remember. What happened, Mary? He fucking put his ball all over the back of your neck. You remember? No, fool, that was fuck. Did he do that like that? I was knocked out. I don't remember. Yeah, after he knocked you out. You know what I'm saying? He did heinous things to you. But see, at the same time, we were just laughing. We were too busy. Why don't you guys back me up? We did. We backed everyone away as he started to do crazy shit to you. Anyways, it just is what it is, man. Never judge book by its covers. It's a funny video, but at the same time, there's really people that lose their lives behind that stuff in prison. Now, I never condone the graping and all those dudes, those fucking chicken hawks that do that weird shit, those Peter Gazers. I don't condone that shit. That's a whole different element of animal, right? But the people that are actually just gay and doing their thing on the yard, fuck around and find out. Test them. See what happens. You know what I'm saying? You be walking around, hey, look bow-legged to me, ow. Right? I'm telling you, straight up, man. Hey, cold part about it is dudes were in the 40-man riot, like getting hit in the head with things made out of Jolly Ranchers and all kinds of crazy shit. It went down. Imagine them dudes riding home, hey, we just got off. And we got off with the Gbgz and shit. The what? Their old lady's like, what is that? Yo, a bunch of fucking dudes, you know what I mean, with pom-poms came out and just rushed us. Crazy shit. Anyways, with that being said, that's what actually went down in New Folsom, man. The Gbgz actually rushed another non-active gang. I'm going to tell you what gang it was, because that's none of my business. As far as putting them on blast, because then they might feel some type of way, like, damn, girl, you put us on blast like that. We got beat up by the Gbgz. I didn't say you guys got beat up by the Gbgz. Not all of you. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle for what I truly and really believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. I'm not telling you these stories to glorify prison, But I'm trying to give you that knowledge you can't get in college and give you game, man. For those of you that are aspiring to be a criminal and go to prison, well, you got a whole lot to figure out, or they'll figure it out for you. I guarantee you don't want that. The gun.